Impact Radio.
Let's go!
With Sir Blackston and the Masked Hope.
Raw Impact Radio. I am Sir Blackston. He is the Masked Hope. And this week has been a little bit crazy. Bro, we got situations with The Rock, situations with Cody. Hashtag we want Cody. Hashtag no we don't. Hashtag we want The Rock. So many different things are going on right now. Malik Kelly is going to come through. He's going to help us make some sense of this thing. He's in the segment after us. The Masked Hope has some more important things to do, apparently. Apparently the show is not his top priority. This man is super busy. Sir, how are you? What's going on?
I'm just trying to enjoy Judgment Day. You know, our true joy. He's finally in there. He's finally in there. So I'm trying to get in there too. You know, they need to chocolate up that Judgment Day.
Oh God. Milk chocolate. That's actually an independent tag team. So
that does sound familiar.
Yeah, milk chocolate. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Malik Kelly, content creator extraordinaire, will be with us right after this, and then it'll be me and Hope again. Look at this. It's almost like we got a plan. All right, yeah, we'll be back.
Have feedback on the show? Email us at rawimpactradio@gmail.com. Raw Impact Radio with Sir Blackston and the Masked Hope.
Raw Impact Radio. I am Sir Blackston. As you can see, there is no The Masked Hope, but there is the Narcolepsy Boy 94 is in the building. Sir, Malik Kelly.
The Narcolepsy Boy 94. I like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yo, it's dope because I don't know if a lot of people realize this. You were the first guest on the show. You were the first one ever on the show.
How long you been doing the pod?
We've been doing it since right after Extreme Rules in Philly. So
okay, so I'm about over a year.
Yeah, but a little over a year. But yeah, no, bro, you're the first one. You were the first one back, way back when you were on the show. So it's really dope to have you here again. For those of you who don't know who Narcolepsy Boy is, he is a tremendous wrestling content creator. Some of the things that he puts out, man, is just, I learned so much from you, which is wild because I've been watching for damn near 30 years and I'm still learning things from you, man.
So everybody's got different views and perspectives, man, on wrestling.
They do. And with that being the segue, man, how are you feeling about all of the fallout from this whole Roman, Rock, Cody triumvirate and all the things that are going on right now in the world of wrestling?
Well, I'll reverse that question. I think people might want to know how you feel first. I mean, everybody, I think, has their own opinions about it. We still really don't know who Cody's going to face as of yet. But hypothetically, I think we kind of all know the direction probably it's going to go in. So, I mean, what was your initial reaction to when Cody won the Rumble and then you saw The Rock come out on SmackDown?
So for me, I mean, all of this stuff is on the TikTok and it's genuine. You know, I'm you know me, man. I'm a huge Rock fan. All right, I feel about The Rock the way that you feel about John Cena. They're two different.
Hey, I'm a huge Rock fan too, man. He's in my top 5 favorites. He's my top 5 favorites.
So, I'm super excited about it. I think for me, and when Cody won, it was dope. I jokingly said, and I'm eating those words right now, before the Royal Rumble happened, I was saying I would love to see The Rock come out at number 31 as the ultimate heel move and toss Cody out of the ring after he's won the Royal Rumble. Little did I know. That's damn near what happened in this situation.
This man got the script.
Hey, But I was excited, man. This is a match we've wanted to see for some time. We didn't get it last year, the year before.
We all, I think, want to see the match. I mean, we've been asking for it for a while. I think last year would have been the best scenario to have it at WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood in 2023. It would have made sense. The Rock's backyard. He's a Hollywood movie star. It would have just made the perfect sense to do it last year. Why it never happened, we'll never know. It's none of our business anyway, but it's just all about timing.
According to The Rock, it was because he wasn't in shape. So he wasn't in good ring shape. And, he said the story where he sat down and tried to come up with creative and they had the tequilas and they just couldn't come up with anything interesting. And I'm calling BS on that because if you couldn't find anything sitting down with 6 tequilas and this is what you came up with for this year, creative clearly wasn't the issue.
Yeah, and it's because this is even worse. So it's just, I would have just much rather have The Rock come in and win the Rumble. I mean, yes, we all would have bitched about it at the time, but knowing where we're at now, it would have just made more sense and added up for the story. And then you could have just had Cody compete against somebody else at WrestleMania, not for a title. He could have wrestled, anybody else on the roster in another big match, but to have him win another Royal Rumble back-to-back years, which hasn't happened in 26 years, right? He wins another Royal Rumble, and he literally points at Roman Reigns after he won. So we all get the initiation that, okay, Cody Roman, that's what we all been expecting since last year at WrestleMania. And obviously, with this run that Roman has had, it's so legendary. Whoever beats Roman has to be somebody you can uplift further in the company to become a bigger star, right? And Cody embodies everything like that. He's a huge baby face right now. He's never achieved the ultimate goal of winning the big one, and he has the perfect story to do so, right?
Absolutely.
So on SmackDown, you think he's going to challenge Roman? He literally says, I want the title, Roman. I want everything you have. I want to take you down. Just not at WrestleMania. Then The Rock comes out. And what it seems like in that moment, it's basically like Cody is giving up his moment for The Rock to come in and get a big, huge monumental dream match that the fans had wanted to see, but Cody won the Rumble, has earned the right to go to WrestleMania, and we all know who he legit wants to face in the story, because if the story was about Cody just wanting to come back and be the world champion, this could have worked out perfectly, but the entire concept of the story, he wants to win the one title his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, has never won. Dusty Rhodes was the World Heavyweight Champion. The title Seth Rollins has. He won that title. He was never the WWE Champion. That's the title that Roman has. So it would only make sense storyline-wise for Cody to go after Roman. But when The Rock comes out and just pretty much takes the moment, it makes Cody look like a bitch, honestly, because he won the Rumble, but he's like, you know what? Even though I won the Rumble, and this is what I really want, everybody knows what I want. Nah, Rock, you come in, you can get it, man. Go ahead and just take that moment at WrestleMania, and I'm gonna go fight Seth Rollins, possibly go fight Seth Rollins for a world title that he's never been going after and that he's never won a part of the storyline. Anyway, it doesn't make sense from a storyline perspective. WWE is gonna thrive well when it comes to box office because The Rock is mainstream. He's one of the biggest stars in the world, top 10. You could argue biggest stars in the universe, right? So obviously, it's gonna draw money. It's gonna probably maybe go down as the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. Like, this could be bigger than Rock and Austin. It could be bigger than Rock and Hogan. It could be bigger than Rock and Cena. You know what I mean? Like, this could go down as the biggest WrestleMania match ever. It's just all about timing. You come back and interrupt a story that has been being told for 2 years. Cody loses last year, but I think last year at WrestleMania, it was really 50-50 on who the fans really wanted to win, but they built Cody up and he got even more popular since last year. And I think this year, majority of the audience wants Cody to win even more than they did last year. I think this year was the year that everybody really wanted to see happen. And now you have The Rock come in, which means two things in my mind. You're either going to have Rock and Roman at WrestleMania for the title and Cody and Seth for the championship. Cody is going to beat Seth for the title, and then Seth goes 0-4 against Cody, which, storyline-wise, that just proves that Cody is levels above Seth. And then Damian Priest is probably going to cash in and take the title from Cody Rhodes, and which is going to add more sympathy to Cody. Or you're going to have Seth Rollins beat Cody Rhodes, but that doesn't make sense either, because you're going to tell me an injured Seth Rollins can beat a 100% healthy Cody Rhodes, but a 100% Seth Rollins couldn't beat a Cody Rhodes with a torn pec and a Hell in a Cell? That don't make no sense either. So it's a bad situation on each side. Then you're going to have Rock and Roman. Roman is going to beat The Rock, which means he's going to be champion all year again. So he'll be champ all year again, more than likely, which, he'll probably go to WrestleMania as champion next year. And then what do? I mean, you build up Cody and Roman another year. Like, they could possibly get away with that, but it's a huge, huge gamble you're taking. Like, Cody's already so popular and so over. I'm sure you've seen social media, over the last couple of days, how people were just going crazy about this whole situation.
Heard about it.
Like, Cody's being robbed and stuff and all that stuff. Like, do you know how hard it is? And I was talking to my friends about this on my pod. Do you know how hard it is? And for the listeners too, I want y'all to really fathom this. Do you know really how hard it is to be one of those superhero type cheesy baby faces in wrestling in this era that fans always turn on? They always turn on these over-the-top good guys that appeal to the kid audience, these superhero guys who do all the right things and never do the bad things. That's what Cody Rhodes is, right? These people always get turned. Cena, they try to make it Roman, they turned on him. They always turn on these people. But they've embraced Cody Rhodes so much. And the majority of the audience, not everybody, because everybody has their own favorites, right? So, but majority of the audience wants to see Cody over The Rock at WrestleMania. That's even more crazy. So that just shows you how popular Cody is right now. If you make the people wait too late because they want Roman to get this record, people can say Cody can wait even longer. How much longer can you possibly wait? It's been 2 years. If you make the people wait even longer, one bad thing about wrestling is that that people can lose interest really fast and they can give up on something if they feel like it's never going to happen. Braun Strowman, I think, is the perfect example of that. When he was super over in 2017, all they had to have him do was beat Brock Lesnar, right, for that Universal Championship. His career would have been made right there. But every time they fed him to Brock Lesnar, he lost. And then people gave up on his push. His steam and momentum died down over the years. And then when he finally won the Universal Championship, granted, it was during the pandemic and COVID happened, but I seen social media. Nobody really cared anymore because Braun Strowman wasn't as over and as popular as he once was. And not to mention, he was a replacement in a match that he wasn't even supposed to be in. Roman Reigns was going to be Goldberg that year, but Roman Reigns backed out because of COVID. So they inserted Braun Strowman, who didn't even have a match at WrestleMania that year, to take the Universal Championship in a match that he wasn't even supposed to originally be in. So I think this whole thing is it's just messy from a story perspective. I have no issue with The Rock and Roman Reigns happening. I'm not going to act like, I'm not going to be excited to see that match at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? I'm going to be hyped for it. It's just, you can't come in and mess up another person's story who has so much momentum because you can only really catch lightning in a bottle with these moments so many times. Just imagine if Daniel Bryan had lost at WrestleMania 30, if Kofi didn't win at WrestleMania that year when he was hot. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine if Batista didn't beat Triple H, for his first world championship. Like, these moments can mean so much. And granted, Cody losing last year was a huge gamble as well, but it paid off. It worked very well in WWE's favor. Cody got more over. Roman continued to be champion more. And now I think people are just really getting sick and tired of Roman being champion even more than they once before. Now you have Cody who's more over and people feel like this was the year. You have him win another Royal Rumble back-to-back years. And I heard the rumors were that this was already planned before Cody had won the Rumble. Which could be true because remember, The Rock had teased that promo on the first episode of Raw when he teased the head of the table stuff. So if this was already the original plan, why was Cody winning the Rumble anyway? What was the point of that? You could have had The Rock come in and win the Rumble for it.
It's so many places where they really screwed the story up. It's so many different places. I mean, and the one wild card in all of this is the fact that CM Punk did get injured. So who knows what sort of pivoting that caused. Yeah. But, the fact that, eventually if you're going to call Roman Reigns the head of the table in 2020, if you're going to say that he's the one who's the tribal chief, clearly that's directed at one person and that's The Rock, and it has to be your payoff for your storyline, right? Yep. So then why the hell do you unify these championships at the cost of now you've got an entire brand and you're bringing this guy who's a main eventer, who you're going to push into the main event in Cody Rhodes, and now you don't have anything for him to go after, and now your two stories have to collide. They wrote themselves into a corner, and The Rock, I love The Rock, man, but his ego, bro, you got to read the room. When you come out there for SmackDown and you're showing off your goosebumps and everything, you got to understand the way that these people operate now. It's not 1998 anymore. It's more than just booze and just signs. You know what I mean? These people are serious. You know what I mean? Like, they take it very seriously. I am shocked and surprised at some of the things that I'm seeing in terms of like the death threats.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much.
Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot. And it's this small contingent of alleged Cody fans who I think are just people who just want to see the world burn that are giving the whole thing a corny tinge, in
this situation, I feel like those people are just either ones who are really big Cody fans and want to see him win, or just really want Roman to lose the title at this point. You know what I mean? It's one of those two people. So Roman and Rock is going to be box office. Nobody can deny that. But this is how you make and break and create stars, man. They have the opportunity to make Cody Rhodes one of the biggest stars possibly ever. Cody Rhodes winning at WrestleMania realistically could be bigger than Daniel Bryan. It could be bigger than Kofi Mania, if we're being real. If you look at social media, who would have ever, if you would have said last year, right? Let's say last year.
Right.
Who would have ever said last year that Cody Rhodes could potentially get more love from the WWE crowd than The Rock coming back to face Roman Reigns? Who would have believed that? Would you believe
that would not have even crossed anyone's mind.
We're talking about The Rock here. How many people can really sit on the mountaintop with The Rock when it comes to star power in wrestling? I mean, Hogan, Austin, Cena, maybe Roman. Maybe you could throw Undertaker in there as well. There's not many people like who can get that type of reaction. Like when he comes out, everybody's standing up. Everybody is going crazy because it's The Rock. You know what I mean? He has that aura to him. They have an opportunity to make Cody Rhodes something big. He's never achieved the big one. He's already a big babyface, but he's never achieved the ultimate goal of winning. And I've seen a lot of people say that, well, if Cody wins, they're just going to turn on him. You know that, right? That's not really going to matter, for being honest. They've been saying they're going to turn on Cody for years now. It hasn't happened. But if they do hypothetically turn on Cody, None of that shit is going to matter. And I'll tell you why. Because you know what? They turned on John Cena when he became the guy, and it never stopped WWE from pushing John Cena in the top spot. No matter how many times fans booed him and begged him to turn heel and begged for somebody else to be in the top spot, John Cena won 16 world titles at his peak. Then they replaced him with Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns was probably even more hated than Super Cena, for being honest, when he was the big dog. They did not like him. They rejected him. They didn't want him to be the top guy, but it never stopped WWE from pushing Roman Reigns at the top. He main evented 4 straight WrestleManias long before he even reached his peak. Before he wasn't even the level he's at right now. So if they do turn on Cody, it's not going to matter. It's not going to stop them from pushing him. They know what they have in Cody. It's just a matter of now, is he going to get this damn story finished? That's the whole concept. And if you make people wait too late, is the moment still going to be there and it's still going to be big enough?
Now, in terms of part-timers coming in and they're doing their thing and they interrupt something that's going, we've seen this before. We've seen this with like, the list of when Jericho and Kevin Owens had that great program, and then Bill Goldberg came out and just squashed Kevin Owens. We've seen it in the past where to a degree, I like that John Cena faced off against Theory last year. But technically, he really killed him in that promo. And it's like, I don't know if the Theory ever recovered from that.
No, he hasn't.
No, and we've seen it with Goldberg coming in and squashing
Lesnar,
the Fiend. Yeah, several times with Brock Lesnar. Why is it now with The Rock this big issue? Is it more anti-Rock or is it more pro-Cody that these folks are after?
It's just he's interrupting a storyline that they've been telling for 2 years that people are not really invested into. Like, you can't just, it don't matter if it was The Rock or anybody. It could have been Cena. It could have been, you can't just come in and interrupt a story in a moment that, one wrestler has been waiting for and that people legit want to see now. Plus, he won a Royal Rumble again. He earned the right to go to WrestleMania to fight any champion he wants. Last year, there was only one world champion, so we already knew the direction. This year, he had options. But we know from the story that's being told just with Cody, he doesn't want the World Heavyweight title. That's never been the title he's been chasing. He wants the WWE Championship, the title that his father never held. So it only makes sense for him to go after Roman at WrestleMania. But now he can't because The Rock is in the picture now. So that's the only issue that people have. You basically just came in and stepped on a storyline that has been being told for 2 years, which will now either never get finished or stretch out, even longer. And I don't think a lot of people want to see it.
Now, last week, Seth Rollins came out and he cut this very impassioned promo about how, this is the Dusty Rhodes Championship and this is the Workhorse Championship. This is the one being defended every night. If in that moment, Cody doesn't say, hey, you know what, I'll think about it. And instead he says, you know what, Seth, you talked me into it. I do want your championship. And a month later, The Rock comes on and he does this thing for which is even less storytelling time there. Do you think that the fans would have reacted a little bit differently than they are now?
No, because it doesn't make sense for Cody's story, man. I mean, I know we keep repeating the story aspect and it's kind of getting annoying for a lot of people. I get it, the story, but storytelling, that's what it all comes about. That's what wrestling is about, right? Storytelling. And for Cody's story, there's only been one goal. Literally since he came back the night after WrestleMania, he cut that promo. So we already knew what the agenda was. He made it clear, literally, this is his second day back in the WWE, why he came back and what he wants to do. He made it clear. So that's the only thing that makes sense for the story aspect. One thing that will bug wrestling fans is if you tell a story and not have the proper ending that only makes sense. Because sometimes it's not hard to do the right thing in wrestling. Sometimes it's like, even as wrestling fans, we don't live in the wrestling industry. We don't work for WWE and all that stuff, but we all have common sense. Sometimes it's common knowledge to do the right thing.
Don't start a movie and then end up in a
yeah. Like, it's just.
Well, let me ask you this: what is because we're talking a lot about Cody's story? What is the story of Roman Reigns and the bloodline? What, like, at some point, that's a story too. And that's a story that definitely needs to get finished. And the finish to that story has to, in my opinion, it has to involve The Rock. And that story has been going on longer than Cody's story. In fact, Cody came in 2 years into that story. So, like, how do you, satisfy both ends of that? I guess what I'm asking you is, how do you fix this? How do you get out of the situation that they're in?
I don't really think there is any fixing it. There's no way they're canceling Rock and Roman. Why? I mean, from a box, why would they? They've already advertised it. They've already put it all over ESPN. So why would they do that? You know what I mean? So there's no way to fix it. Honestly, what I think is going to happen is going to be Cody and Seth. It's going to be Roman and Rock. And then Cody's going to win the world title. Priest is going to cash in. and then we're gonna have to wait another year for this. I honestly think that's what's gonna happen. I think they're gonna make us wait another year and try to get Cody bigger than what he is, which I don't know how that can work because he's already huge enough. But that's honestly what I see happening. I don't see any other scenario. I don't see Cody beating Roman at the Elimination Chamber in Australia, which is possible. I mean, because he did never say he was going after Seth. So I guess that's the only way you could fix it.
I'd be fine with that.
If Cody were to go to the chamber and beat Roman, which I had mentioned before on my TikTok videos, you can go check it out. It would be shocking because nobody would see that coming because a lot of people would believe that Roman is only going to lose at WrestleMania. So if you do that, and then you have Cody and Randy at WrestleMania for the championship, that makes sense. Then you got to have Rock and Roman without the championship, and they're fighting for the head of the table spot, right? But then again, that also kind of doesn't make sense either because they said they said in a few promos, without the title, there is no Roman Reigns, there is no tribal chief. So then it kind of goes like, okay, was Roman still the tribal chief without the championship? Because Roman's done said it before, Paul Heyman's done said it before, so it's like, okay, they have said these things without the title, there is no tribal chief, no Roman Reigns. So if he loses the championship, who is he?
Wow. So one of the things that I've heard, this is dumb as shit too. One of the things that I've heard is that, you do put that championship belt, the world title, on Cody. He beat Seth and now he's the world champion. And rather than having Damian Priest come out and cash in on him, he holds it through SummerSlam and he faces off against Roman at SummerSlam and they unify those titles. I think it's a dumb idea. What do you think?
Stupid. Why would they unify the titles? They just ununified them.
You just
said what? Let me ask you this though: what if The Rock beats Roman at WrestleMania?
Worst case scenario, dumb. Like I would hate to see it. If he beats Roman, it's gotta, the championship belt can't be on the line. Although, if Cody does beat Roman at Elimination Chamber, now it adds another level of intrigue to Rock versus Roman because now you don't know who's going to win. But no, I would not have Roman lose that streak to The Rock. The Rock doesn't need it. You've been stirring up all that, and it'd be like Brock Lesnar coming in to defeat Taker, except even worse, The Rock is much older than Brock was at the time. It would be terrible, man.
If The Rock takes that title from Roman Reigns during the streak that he's on, I think it'll be the worst decision WWE's ever made in its history because you have this guy go on the streak in an era where it's very rare. You'll probably never see another title run like this ever again.
Hope not.
and it's so big that you have to have the right person beat him to help make them a star bigger than what they already are. The Rock is already a megastar. What more does he have to accomplish? What does he have to gain by beating Roman Reigns? Well, he sits at the head of the table. We already know he was sitting at the head of the table years ago. He never had to say it during his peak, but we all knew. Like, he doesn't gain anything by beating Roman at WrestleMania for the title more than a Cody Rhodes will.
And, we were talking about the ego of The Rock, and I don't know if you know what his plan was for, he could have been James Gunn. He was in line for that James Gunn position. And do you know what his ultimate plan was for the Black Adam character?
Yeah, he wanted Black Adam to rival with Superman. I heard
not just that. That was the first film. What he wanted long term was he wanted the entire Justice League to combine forces with the entire Suicide Squad, and all of these forces go up against Black Adam. That's where the ego is, and that's where the head is. And this is the guy.
Like he wanted Black Adam to be that powerful, or he had to be
powerful. That powerful. That's what he wanted long term, and it's like, duh, this is the ego you're dealing with. And I love The Rock.
No, bro, that's not.
Do that.
Black Adam, powerful as superhero. No, don't get me wrong, but
that was The Rock in a Black Adam suit, though.
Yeah. I mean, the Black Adam is a very powerful superhero. Nobody can deny that. But the whole Justice League going up, and you said Suicide Squad teaming up to go against one guy.
Not Darkseid, not Brainiac. Black Adam is what we're talking about.
That's like the Nexus taking on John Cena by himself, and then John Cena clearing out the entire 7-man group. How can one guy take down 7 people? That's what it's like. How can one guy, as powerful as he is, take down multiple power other superheroes? That doesn't make sense, bro.
No.
Now, what was the whole James? You said James Bond or James Gunn? You said James Gunn.
James Gunn. Yeah, because
he's a director. He's a director. Yeah.
If more people would have bought tickets, we wouldn't even be having this conversation because The Rock would be busy writing movies right now. He'd be working on that Justice League Suicide Squad joint.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how they work their way out of it. I think that your idea of Cody winning at Elimination Chamber is probably their safest bet to save, that end of their WrestleMania main event. And Cody versus Orton is there's a story there. You know what I mean?
Easily.
easily. So, I think that might be their safest bet and let Seth convalesce a little bit longer. But I don't see a way out unless they do something like that. And you can't make it a triple threat. I don't think that's going to work.
You don't like the idea of a triple threat?
Absolutely not. Because you're telling too many different stories in one match.
But
Roman Rock deserves its own match, just like Cody deserves to win his championship in his own match.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just throwing out different ideas of different scenarios that could possibly happen. I mean, what if? Okay, just hypothetically here. What if they do a triple threat? Cody pins The Rock, and then you set up Roman and The Rock maybe later in the future because Roman would never get pinned by Cody, but he'll lose the championship. But he can make the vouch like you never beat me type thing.
I think that WrestleMania is the culmination of storytelling. And
Correct.
We've been telling this story of Roman Reigns being the tribal chief for 4 years now. It has to die at WrestleMania, in my opinion. And it has to go with him and The Rock. And to throw Cody in that, it waters it down a lot. But I mean,
I get the I get the concept. Yes, I don't want the idea of a triple threat either. It's terrible. I don't want to see it. I mean, Rock and Roman's by itself, Cody Roman by itself. It's just it's just this damn story with Cody, man. That's the only thing that just put the damper on all this. If Cody, like I said, never came back and had the story initiated that he wants to win just that particular title. And granted, there was only one world champion when Cody had come back too. You know what I mean? So
no, is that true? So when he came back? Is that the same night where Rock and Brock? I'm sorry, where Roman and Brock?
Yes, at WrestleMania. Yeah.
Night? All right, so if they knew that this was the story, that makes the whole thing even dumber. Because if you remember, Brock won in the Elimination Chamber after they completely faked an injury with Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? Like they did this whole thing or whatever, this convoluted.
Well, I think Vince was
the whole thing even dumber.
Vince was set on Roman and Brock for sure, title for title. I actually believe that. Cody coming back. I mean, obviously this was 2 years ago though. I don't even know if they knew The Rock was going to come back though. You know what I mean? Like The Rock has always had in the palm of his hands to make this match happen, because if he tells WWE he's ready to do it, they're going to do it. You know what I mean? So with his schedule and how busy he is and how many movies he does, and he got XFL now, and he got the tequila stuff and the energy drink stuff and the Under Armour stuff, and he got so much shit outside of wrestling that he does. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people are coming at The Rock, and some of the movies that didn't do too well, but even with Black Adam, how much money he still probably made on Black Adam, even though it wasn't as successful as they wanted it to be. Bro, come on. Like the people were trying to say, well, he's coming back to get another check, bro. He don't
need no checks.
he don't need WWE's money. He is super rich and will forever be super rich until the day his grandkids are going to be set for life. You know what I mean? Like, he has money regardless. It's not about coming back because, oh, well, my movie didn't do too well and I need them. Bro, he has tons of movies that have done well in the box office. He's part of the Fast franchise. You had Hercules. He was anything, bro. Like, he's one of the biggest movie stars in the world, and he pretty much does the same type of character in every movie, but he's still one of the biggest stars in the world. You know what I mean? Like, he's just that big of a movie star.
He could eat the rest of his life off of just the bombed films. Like, even the ones
easily,
just the ones that bombed.
Not even the recent. We're talking like Tooth Fairy, like the old ones, like the old ones before he became big. Yeah, like it's not about the money. You know what I mean? Like, obviously the money's great, but it's really all about, honestly, as much as people want to say The Rock is selfish, The Rock also, does things for the people, because the people had asked for this match.
Yeah.
People are forgetting about that. They wanted this match. They've been asking for it for a while. It's bad timing, yes, but the people had been asking for this match. The Rock, I guarantee you, would have never come back and done this match if he knew the people didn't want to do it. It's the same when he came back and fought John Cena over a decade ago. The people had been asking for that match. So he came back when he didn't even need to come back for that match, if we're being honest. People were talking about this match. He never had to come back and give us Rock and Cena. He didn't owe us that. He didn't owe anything to the wrestling world because he already did everything in wrestling. He had left and had other aspects and goals that he wanted to accomplish. But he came back to set up Rock and Cena because the people wanted to see it. The people want to see Rock and Roman. So he comes back again. Granted, it took a little bit too long, and it's not bad timing. I understand, but the people had been waiting for this.
There's another aspect of this, because now The Rock is he's not just WWE superstar The Rock, he's on the board. You know what I mean? So now there's the power dynamic as well. And bookers have been booking themselves strong since the beginning of the time. of wrestling.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of wrestling. You know, Vince,
Hulk
Triple
Hogan
H
era.
did it. Hulk Hogan did, you know what I mean? Even to a degree, and people forget about this. You know, over in AEW, back when he was EVP, Cody Rhodes did book himself to become the first TNT champion, and he was a 3-time TNT champion. And I believe one of the reasons that he was, you know, booed kind of heavily over there is people might have perceived him as throwing his weight around a little bit. But what I say,
of course, I mean, anybody in that power, you know, is going to get that. It's the same with Jeff Jarrett. You know, when he made TNA, he was TNA World Champion, NWA Champion. But anytime he wins those titles, people are just going to feel like he's just making himself the champion. It's going to have that type of effect. So there's nothing much they can do about it. But there are different types of people who have egos and creative control. I don't think Cody was like that in AEW, because if he was, he could have honestly just made himself AEW World Champion off rip and just gave himself a mega push if he wanted to, you know what I mean? But he never even put that title on himself because he just knew what that would mean. You know what I mean? Like, I think he understood how the fans would really react to it, because they were already mad that he was winning the TNT title. So just imagine how they would feel if he won the AEW World title. Different people have different egos, but you look at somebody like Cody. I don't think Cody really has a massive ego like that, because he left the position of power and came back to another company just to be another regular superstar to achieve a goal that he's been dreaming about. You know what I mean? But then you have somebody like Hulk Hogan who has creative control in this contract, which means he don't got to do shit he don't want to do. You know what I mean? So if somebody throws an idea out there and he's like, well, that don't work for me, I don't want to do that. Well, it's in the contract. You can't get wrestlers creative control like that. Like you may be able to get them, like, say, the rights to their name, or maybe something of a little bit creative control as far as, like, you know, money or something. But as far as booking, you can't give wrestlers a creative control aspect when it comes to booking, because how many wrestlers are really going to book themselves to lose like that? Maybe a couple of times. Of course, Hulk Hogan, he booked himself to lose a couple of times. Wanted to put Goldberg over, cool, put Goldberg over, but he always going to get his lick back. Or I'm going to put this guy over, but better believe, you know, when I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna get that back. You know what I mean? So
Cody's done that too, though. With, you know,
yeah,
he did the same thing over in AEW. The reason I brought that up is because Cody understands the way that the business works, and I think that what I'm seeing is a lot of people are feeling like bad for Cody, and I think that Cody understands that this is just a part of the business. You know what I mean? This isn't new to him. He's been here before. You know what I mean? And I'm just hoping that, you know, wrestling fans, as a unit, can get back to the point where, you know, this is
who would have thought The Rock could possibly be hated, you know, in wrestling this year. If he comes, I'll tell you what, though, tonight on Raw is going to be crazy. They may hijack that show when Cody.
They're going to.
He has a match with Nakamura, so
I feel bad for Nakamura.
There's going to be people at the press conference too on Thursday. I don't know if you know that, but they're allowing fans to come. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah, man, if they start booing The Rock, man, I mean, that shouldn't be happening. You know, we shouldn't be booing The Rock.
Yeah,
there's nothing to hate about that, man. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be booing The Rock, but he come back and they booing him. That's gonna say a lot right there. They're gonna do their match regardless. They ain't gonna change it, but that's gonna show you what decision that should have been made.
I was in Philly for when Rob Van Dam, you know, he and Sabu, they got caught up with the weed. This is when Rob Van Dam was ECW and WWE champion. He lost the WWE championship to Edge on Monday.
Triple threat.
Yeah. So I'm in the building for that, and then, you know, I was, you know, fuck it, I'll buy a ticket to ECW. It's supposed to be an ECW arena. They brought it back to the Wachovia Center. Doesn't matter. What happened after that match, where the Big Show came out and he defeated Rob Van Dam? I still got the pictures. That ring was a mess. Those folks, like, they threw drinks, they threw bottles, they threw anything that they could get their hands on in that ring in Philly. I don't know how this thing is going to work in Philly.
Are you going to WrestleMania this year?
I got my night 2 ticket. I'm working on a night 1. I have 2 night 2 tickets. I need to get rid of one of them and then buy me a night 1. But man, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild, man.
I think there's just so many different aspects to it, man. I think we all pretty much know it's going to be Cody and Seth and Rock and Roman. I mean, that's the agenda. It's been seemed like that's been the agenda, you know. So, I mean, there's other matches to look forward to, though, man. I mean, you're still going to have Gunther and Io and Bailey, which I really love that segment they did on SmackDown. I'm really excited for, because I'm a huge Bailey fan. So,
unfortunate things like that are getting overshadowed by all of this.
Yeah. And of course, you know, Rhea's going to defend her title, and Logan Paul, probably LA Knight. So, I mean, there's going to be some other things to enjoy about WrestleMania. And plus, we're not going to act like Rock and Roman isn't huge, and we're all not going to be excited, because people complain about it now, but in that moment when they're in the ring together at WrestleMania, you're going to feel the energy. You're going to feel the energy.
And the other end of that is, if Cody does win a world championship, we're going to boo Cody winning a world championship. They're going to cheer their asses off.
They're going to cheer for him. They're going to know it's not the right title, but they're still not going to they're not going to be upset about it, but they're going to be upset when Priest cashing that money to make it take that title.
So you think it's happening that night?
Yeah, I definitely think it's happening. I mean, I didn't really see a timeline where he could successfully cash in, but I don't see them having Cody win a world title that he's never won and giving him a run with the championship. You know what I mean? He shouldn't even be winning this title anyway because he's never won the world title anyway. So, like, for him to win his first world championship, it's supposed to be something big, right? And then he's going to win it and just have it for a few minutes or something. That's what I really see happening.
I don't see him cashing in, man. I think that would be nuclear heat.
I think that's what they want, though. I think they want Damian Priest to get that type of heat. More importantly, the Judgment Day. I think they want him to get that type of Dom heat.
Man, I think that move would be a mistake, man. But you know what? I wouldn't put it past them at all.
I think they're trying to add more sympathy to Cody's story. You know what I mean? That's what the whole object of the cash in is. You know what I mean? He could pull a Super Cena though, and he could cash in and lose still. You know what I mean? He could pull that. That John Cena when Damian Priest cashing on him, and not Damian Priest, but Damian Sandow cashing on him, and he beat up John Cena before the match. He had that bad arm, and he still beat Sandow. So they could pull something off like that, but I just don't see Priest cashing in on Roman, obviously, and there's really no other time. It's getting down to the nitty gritty, man. Money in the Bank is coming up close, and he's gonna have to cash in eventually. So I think it's gonna happen at WrestleMania, man. It sucks for Cody though because he's in a position where he probably knows what's right. He's not gonna say it publicly, but in his mind, he probably knows what's right, but he can't do anything about it.
Just think, we're only 5 weeks into 2024, dude. Vince McMahon is out. The Rock is in. They're going to Netflix. Cody Rhodes, this whole blow up. We're only 5 weeks in. 2024 is going to be crazy, man.
I'm excited. I'm excited for WrestleMania though. Like I said, Rock and Roman is going to be great. I'm not going to.
Are you going?
No, I was, but not anymore. I'm probably going to go to SummerSlam instead. I'm definitely going to go to SummerSlam instead this year. But it's going to be a big match. It's just the timing aspect of it. It's just that's what it hurts the most. You know what I mean? I'm a huge Cody fan, so it's like for him to win another Royal Rumble and it basically just give his spot to somebody else. That's like that's like if you and me that's like if you liked a girl, right? And you was trying to get with this girl and you was trying to smash and all that stuff, and basically just let me cut right in front of you and take her from you when you like that girl. So
even worse. She's like, yo, I'm down. What's up, Sir Blackson? And I'm like, no. Meet my man Malik.
Yeah. It's like she's down for you, but then you're like, then I step in and I'm like, hey man, I think I'm gonna take her off your hand. She's like, oh, sure. I mean that's why. Like that's the only part that doesn't make sense. They didn't do it correctly. If we had knew this was gonna be the agenda, I would have and it's crazy for me to say that I would have much rather had the Rock win the Royal Rumble. Because at least then it would have made sense.
We're CM Punk.
Punk would have been fine too. I mean, obviously he got injured, but they didn't plan for the injury, but Punk winning would have made sense as well. But you see, they didn't plan for CM Punk to get injured. That's the thing. And they obviously didn't expect him to get hurt. So Cody winning, I think, was always the plan. And I genuinely think Triple H, because Triple H be getting a lot of slack. I think Triple H wants to do that match. I think he knows it's the right thing to do. Cody and Roman too. I think he knows it's the right thing to do, but people don't understand. Triple H doesn't own the WWE like Vince did. Like when Vince owned the company, he had all the say and everything because it was his company. Triple H is the CEO. He's the head of creative. He's not on the board of TKO like The Rock is. He doesn't have that power. So he can throw his ideas and he can have a lot of say in certain things. But if the TKO board wants to go a different direction and they want to overshadow his decision, there's nothing he can do about that. So that's what makes the situation even sucks more, because if you watch NXT Black and Gold, Triple H is all about storytelling. He's all about longevity stuff. It was one of the main reasons why NXT was the best brand in WWE for years, because Triple H always did things that the fans had wanted to see on the main roster. He was pure storytelling. He made stars down there. He had a good brand. And I think that's what he wanted to do. I genuinely think that's what he wanted to do. But The Rock comes in, he's on the TKO board, and this is what they want to do. What can Triple H do, man? He can't really do much.
And now you're looking at the possibility of Gerwitz coming in and potentially upending Triple H's creative control altogether.
Yeah, well, that's gonna even suck even more. To be fair though, Brian Gortso is one of the best writers WWE, maybe the best writer WWE had. He was one of the biggest writers in the Attitude Versus Aggression era. Obviously, when The Rock left, he went to Hollywood with The Rock and became his writer and stuff. But Brian Gortz is responsible for creating some of the best storylines in WWE history. Just want to point that out there. So it's not a bad idea to insert him back into the wrestling world, but if he's gonna overshadow Triple H, I mean, what's the point of Triple H being there at this point? Like, why is he there?
Well, let me also throw this out, and you maybe this gets a little bit too deep. But I mean, with all the things going on with this constant investigation of Vince McMahon, we're hearing things like TKO may want to clear house of everyone who had any association with Vincent Kennedy.
Triple H they should.
As they should. Triple H has heavy association with Vince. Triple H was a part of that investigative committee that was, the previous WWE board. There is a possibility that maybe, beyond The Rock trying to take this opportunity away from Triple H, he just might not be there. You know what I mean? And under those circumstances,
well, I think Triple H is going to be there. I think it's more the people who were involved in the sexual assault cases. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably more than likely we probably will never see Brock Lesnar in WWE, especially if all that stuff is true about, because they're still investigating stuff. So we really don't know like the entire full story. We just know what was kind of leaked and what was put out there right now. But if all that stuff is true, he's not coming back. They're not bringing him back after all that stuff. All the people that like John Laurinaitis, he's not coming back. Like all those people who were involved, they need to be gone. If Triple H is involved in it, yes.
Yeah.
He needs to be gone. But if he's not involved, there's no reason for him to go. If he didn't know anything about that, that's not his business. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't involved and he don't live Vince's life. Like, I'm sure, Vince is his father-in-law and stuff like that. But it's not like, they tell each other everybody's business all the time. Yeah, it's not like he knows everything about Vince and all his business and he got hacks on his phone. Like, everybody doesn't tell everybody everything about themselves. I feel like when it comes to certain secrets, you know what I mean? Or certain things they like, or certain things, some people are just kind of private, you know what I mean? But there are certain things you just
like sitting on chicks.
I feel like everybody there doesn't tell some people, not saying it's bad stuff, but there may be certain things you don't tell other people because maybe if you tell that person, you don't know if you can trust them. So what if they tell somebody else and it come back and backfire on you? You know what I mean? Like, you never know. So it's like, there are certain things that, and some people do have dirty laundry. They have dirty secrets, you know what I'm saying? Especially some people in Hollywood and stuff like that who got that big money, so it sucks for Hunter because he's just in this aspect where he doesn't have the full control of the company like people had wanted him to have. But of course, when it sucks for him too, he's gonna take the heat for it. Nobody's gonna blame TKO. Nobody's gonna blame that. He's gonna take the heat for it because they think he's the one making all the decisions.
Yep. Man, this year is just gearing up to be just ridiculously, and just so many different storylines beyond what's happening in the ring. Just the storyline of WWE and TKO and all of that stuff, man.
What do you think happens tonight? What do they do tonight?
Someone said, and I was like, no, I hope to God they don't do this. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cody Rhodes tonight in a
bull rope match.
They were saying, maybe this is the way out. Maybe you just injure Cody. And I'm like, do not do that. don't write Cody off screen. You know what I mean? Cody's got to cut a promo. And if I'm writing it, I think I'm using what you said. And I'm like, I said I'm not coming for you at WrestleMania. Because I can't wait that long. I'm coming for you at Elimination Chamber. We're gonna do this there. I think that's
what if I'm doing it and I'm structuring it, I would have after the match, Seth comes out. He thinks Cody's facing at WrestleMania because The Rock is coming in. So he comes out and he cuts a promo and about I appreciate you and all that stuff. You're doing the right decision. But Cody says, I never said I was gonna face you at WrestleMania. I never said that I was gonna challenge you. I said that I want the title Roman Reigns has. Just not at WrestleMania. See, me and The Rock, we had a deal. The Rock wants to come in and he wants to create one of the biggest matches of all time. I can respect that. So out of respect for The Rock, I'm allowing him to go to WrestleMania to create one of the biggest matches of all time. But I'm taking that title from Roman Reigns before WrestleMania. He's not going to walk into WrestleMania as the champion. I'm taking the title from him at the Elimination Chamber in Australia. And that would peak, like, oh, okay, that makes sense, And then Seth, if he can fight Drew McIntyre, Gunther, whoever they want to do. But if it don't come down to that, because I have heard the plans were to do Seth and Cody. So if it doesn't come down to that, I wonder if they're able to kind of spin it, though. Maybe they can try to spin it where they're like, I still need to finish the story to take the title that my father never won. But I never thought about being the champion that my father was. I never thought about winning the title that my dad won because he wasn't around when I came back. The World Heavyweight title wasn't there. It was the Universal title and the WWE Championship. So I never dreamed about being the World Heavyweight Champion, about holding this prestigious championship that, my father, Ric Flair, Triple H, all these other guys have held too. So at WrestleMania, I'm going to go become the World Heavyweight Champion, but you best believe I'm coming after Roman Reigns still to finish that story. That could possibly work.
I wish that promo that you just cut, I wish that he would have cut that last week. I wish he would have cut that last week and we'd have been fine.
I do too. I mean, it still could. I think it still could make up for it though, if they go to that direction, because it would kind of be backtracking a little bit, but it would make sense though if he wants to win the title. That he never thought about winning the title. Like I said, the World Heavyweight title wasn't around when he came back, so there was no I'm gonna win the title. My dad won. That wasn't there. So,
man, it's going to be interesting. I hope that again, I hope they don't go the injury route, and I hope whatever they do makes sense. With what you said, with what I'm thinking, hopefully they can end some of this stuff. But as far as the wrestling fans, Kim, do you think that we'll ever get to the point where folks can actually just sit down and enjoy wrestling again without having to worry about whether or not their opinion will get hijacked or anything like that? Those days, I'm nostalgic for fucking last Monday now then. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's still, honestly, it's always been like that. Social media just wasn't around, so we didn't see everybody's opinions, So, I mean, everybody. There's one thing that's impossible to do in the world. It's please wrestling fans. It's literally the most impossible thing to do because everybody has different opinions, different feelings, different perspectives on what they like. So everybody is just not going to be pleased by everything. There are some people who want Rock and Roman and don't care about Cody Rhodes finishing the story. There are some people who only care about Cody finishing the story, don't care about Rock and Roman. There's some people who like Rock and Roman, but they're mad that the stories get messed up. There are some people who, want to see a triple threat. There are some people who just want different things. Some people want Roman to be champ forever. Some people are ready for Roman to be champion, not anymore. Everybody has different things they like. So I just used to sit down, watch it. I already know in wrestling, I'm not going to like every single thing. That's just not possible. There are going to be some things that I don't like. There are going to be things that I do like. I just pay attention to the things that I do like.
Facts. Malik Kelly and Narcolepsy Boy 94, bro. You got to come through on a day where Hope, me, and you, we can just sit back and just talk wrestling shit, man.
Facts, man. We have to get you on our pod too, man. I have to get you come through.
Down, man. I'm down. I appreciate you coming through, man. And we'll do this again.
For sure, man.
Have feedback on the show? Email us at rawimpactradio@gmail.com. Raw Impact Radio with Sir Blackston and the Masked Hope.
Raw Impact Radio. It's your Tooth Fairy, the Masked Hope, along with your Maui, Sir Blackston. Maui, the character from Moana. I don't know if you've ever seen. Not a lot of people see Moana.
I've never seen Moana.
It's awesome. It's awesome movie.
I don't know. I feel like if we're doing rock references, Maui might not be the best one. I feel like that might be a little. Be the one he had to apologize for.
I think that's why it's so on point, because he's gonna be apologizing again for Cody. So
I don't know about that, man. So listen, man, we just had that conversation with Malik Kelly. I need to get your thoughts and opinions on this situation with The Rock and Cody and Roman, and it seems like most importantly the fans, and not just the ones that want to send out the death threats.
First of all, F them mofos. Second of all, The Rock is money, bro. The Rock is money. You know how I know Cody Rhodes fans are delusional? In my comments of these videos where I drop the statistic of the follower count they have, right?
Right.
The Rock has 17 million followers on Twitter. Cody has 1.3 million. The Rock has 396 million followers on Instagram.
Wow.
Cody has 1.7. So when I drop that statistic in my video, people in the comments, numbers don't matter. This is our business, bro. What the?
It's the business. I mean, there are folks that are saying you got to sacrifice, the business for the story. And I'm like, well, you've never run a business.
Right?
There's no way.
Always comes first.
Listen, The Rock has, what did you say, 396 million or something like that?
No, on Instagram. Yeah.
Do you know what that, if I'm TKO, if I'm WWE, the way that I look at that is, Man, that's 396 million people that I want to be buying my replica belts and t-shirts and pay-per-views and getting Netflix subscriptions and all this other stuff. These are selling opportunities. And, dude, money talks louder than anything else in the corporate world.
100%.
The Rock is clutch. Now, these guys have been talking like super loud though. And I do want to make the distinction between Cody Rhodes fans and this other group of people that I think just want to see the world burn, dude. Like who goes around threatening people's daughters?
Bro, that's completely uncalled for. You need to reevaluate your entire life if you're doing that. That's unnecessary. This is entertainment, bro.
It's never that serious.
Never. Take a sip of my Zoa here.
What is Zoa? Oh, they're not paying. So I'll just say that it looks like a beverage. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's some sort of energy beverage The Rock makes.
Oh, you just gave him a whole. He's not paying us.
He's trying to siphon some Zoa fans, But I drink Zoa as well,
bro. Let me ask you this, all right? Because we were talking about it earlier today, right? And this has bothered me about this whole thing because people act like The Rock is just constantly coming back and like burying folks and like taking people's spots when it's not like that with The Rock. Now, there are people in the WWE universe that it is like that with. Guys like Goldberg, Triple H, John Cena, all of those guys. Yes, that is Brock Lesnar, number one, Public Enemy number one. Like those are folks that actually do this all the time. Why is it now that The Rock wants to do it? Why is it this huge issue?
I feel like it's extra ironic because CM Punk literally just said this. Literally just said this was going to happen before the Royal Rumble when he got injured.
Right.
Like some old star from the past is going to come back and steal your spot. And it actually happened, bro. He had to. That was a premonition right there. I feel like the hate is unwarranted not unwarranted, because I understand we want to finish the story, but should have done this 2 years ago.
Should have. Didn't. This is where we at.
And so I'm saying, when you I've always believed that when you don't do something, the best time to start doing it is now. So TKO is under the same impression. That's what they're doing right now.
And and I don't want to go off the impression that Cody's story, everyone I think who listens to the podcast know how I feel about it. And I don't want to give off the impression that it's not important to the people that, really are invested. But it seems like lost in all of this is the fact that Roman has a story too. The Bloodline storyline has been the most successful storyline coming out of the WWE in the past 4 years.
Exactly. Before Cody came back.
Exactly. And it was in progress as he debuted. So it's like, I understand that we want to finish his story, but it's not like his story doesn't completely directly intersect with this other story. And we were talking about like, what was the whole purpose in unifying these titles if you knew the two were going to interact at some point?
Right. You know what I feel what would have been a better way of handling this? If Cody was like about to choose Roman and like, I'm going to finish my story. And then The Rock, this music just hits like, before you finish that story, full heel mode, sunglasses and everything. Before you finish that story, The Rock has a story to finish himself. Roman, I want you at WrestleMania. Oops.
Where'd you
go? Kick my camera.
Fired up about this story.
I got excited. But full heel mode, The Rock just come out and challenge Roman to WrestleMania. Then Cody's just like, what am I? That would make more sense. And then the triple threat would make more sense.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because one of the things that I'm thinking about as far as ways to save this thing is The Rock is going to have to lean into all of this hate right now that he's receiving. And if 100%. Anybody can do it, it's The Rock. The Rock is like top 3 all-time heels. When he's a heel, he can get some shit done as a heel. And believe it or not, folks would end up loving it. It would be so much better. It's just, can he take that ego of his and sit it to the side and say, it's okay if people don't love me for a minute. They will in the long run. If I do this, everything gets right. It's the only way.
It's that, but I just read a report. I believe it was PW Insider that said that The Rock is actually he doesn't care if he's cheered or booed. He just he's just worried about that bottom line for TKO.
Then he needs to turn heel. He needs to turn heel, and look, folks will buy tickets to boo The Rock.
Oh, hell yeah.
They will like the way that these folks are, because the press conference is going to be like packed. I'm certain. Whatever the number was before The Rock did this whole thing here, it's going to be double that. Folks want to get in there and they want to boo The Rock and they want to cheer Cody. There's money in that, and I don't think that the people got to look at the macro level. There's money. That's what you want.
They said just all this controversy moved 7,000 more tickets for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Now I really got to rush to get my night one.
You better, bro. You better.
Bro, StubHub ain't gonna cut it. StubHub gonna be taxing like crazy.
Better get them credit cards out.
I would definitely have The Rock lean into that. The other thing about like the authority figure piece, and Malik and I were talking about this before, and that's that, when he was an authority figure in AEW, Cody Rhodes wrote himself to be like super strong. And I think that in him there's this understanding of the way that business operates that I wish that more of the fans had, because he knows it sometimes it's just like that. The booker books themselves to be strong. That's the way that it is. And when he left AEW, he kind of subject himself to that. This is like a double standard, because Triple H did this shit for decades, well, for years, where he booked himself to come in and be the champion and beat Roman and down talk Bray and beat Goldberg and beat Sting, but now The Rock comes in his first week, they're like, nah, fuck that, not you. Not you. This is his first week. He's been there a week, bro.
This is exactly why Cody Rhodes left in the first place. So he just came back to the same boat. But what do you think this is a work?
Oh, I don't know that it's a work. I think that I don't think that it is a work, actually. I don't think it started as a work. I think that The Rock genuinely believed that people would love him so much that there's no way they could possibly boo him. And I think that this past weekend opened his eyes to, they do love this guy Cody way more than I thought. But maybe there's money in that. Maybe there's money in them hating me. I'm hoping this is the direction they're going to go. Maybe there's money in them hating me and loving Cody. The Rock is an authority figure in the WWE that's hated. The Rock in the Vince McMahon role for real, minus the NDAs. Come on. I think there's money in that.
There's 100% money in that. No, yeah, but like you said, is he going to put his ego aside and do it? Because being a wrestler, being a top wrestler especially, your ego is already inflated. Right. Then he went off and been a Hollywood star. That's another level of ego inflation right there. So will he be able to put his ego aside and admit that he's going to be hated against Cody Rhodes?
I hope so, man. I mean, you heard the plan. Originally, the plan for the whole DC universe was him versus the Suicide Squad and the Justice League as a team, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
Clearly, he doesn't mind being hated. Clearly, he wants all the smoke, because if he's in that top heel role and you got all of the Roman fans pissed off at him because he wants to win the championship, so the Roman fans would be pissed at that, I would assume. The Cody fans would be pissed because he's not in the match. That's kind of like the Suicide Squad and the Justice League all against The Rock.
So he really just booking the same thing over again.
He just wants the smoke. He just wants the smoke from everybody. He don't give a fuck. The Rock is in full I don't give a fuck.
The Rock is G'd up right now. All right. In Philly too, he won all that. Okay.
Bro, in Philly too. Yeah, well, they heard that earlier in the show, but the whole Rob Van Dam thing, bro, those motherfuckers went crazy when he lost that championship belt to the Big Show. Crazy. Yeah. I've never seen anything like that at a wrestling show.
Yeah, it's wild. I am looking forward to that atmosphere. It's gonna be so wild. Whether it's Cody, Roman, Rock, or just Rock and Roman, they're gonna hijack that show and it's gonna be amazing. And then the energy in the air, I can feel it.
And I don't know if you saw last year, I posted a video of the Lincoln Financial Field from night one. So as night one of WrestleMania was going down in Los Angeles and everything was clear, we were rained the fuck out. So then there's the the possibility that we could like have weather disruptions also. This is Philly we're talking about. So they might be doing all this investment, for some shit that, hey, we're actually going to do it on Tuesday. You never know. That would suck.
That would suck bad, because I won't be able to make it then.
A lot of people won't. They got to get back to their home countries.
Oh yeah, I forget people travel from all around the world for this.
So
they'll probably just do it in the rain. Put a canopy over the rain.
Remember the year like Samoa Joe's out there with his fucking umbrella and everything because it got rained out early that one year, and they had to stop it all together because when it's a sporting event and there's like potential for lightning, they have to stop it or like shit will go down. What do you think is the solution to this whole thing?
Man, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Man, just have Rock versus Roman. Let Cody do this thing against Seth. Everybody's gonna be pissed. We're gonna have that Daniel Bryan level rally behind him, which is reported. That's what they're going for. Let this happen next year, bro. There's a risk that he might lose momentum, but I doubt it. The way people are rallying right now, I can see people keeping this going for a year. Every time Cody's on a show or The Rock's on a show, just hijacking the whole show. We want Cody. I can see people keeping.
Does Cody have to win it at WrestleMania? Like, that wasn't part of the dream. That wasn't part of the story.
No, but Roman's too big to lose it at SummerSlam.
You're gonna lose it to The Rock at WrestleMania. What you talking about?
He ain't losing that. If The Rock actually wins that,
better not.
Like, come on. What are you gonna do with that title? At your age, you're probably gonna be injured after the match. You don't need that.
Yeah, I do. I hope that they are planning for that, because I'm pretty sure that's going to happen at some point.
Let me knock on wood. I said about CM Punk.
I know, right, bro?
I don't want it to happen. But at his age,
right?
at his age, it's just likely.
It's more like an affirmation from you, setting it in motion, willing it into existence. Ah, man. And it is the CM Punk, wild card in all of this. Folks are saying how Cody. One of the things that they're really pissed off about is the fact that Cody pointed to Roman after the Rumble. After the Rumble, nobody knew that CM Punk's fucking tricep was torn either. You know what I mean? So everything was still in motion at that point. So I don't think that anyone can be faulted for that. But I think that this overreaction, bro, do you know, over the weekend, I opened up my TikTok app and there was a grown-ass man, all right, a grown-ass bill-paying adult with tears in his eyes talking about he felt bad for Cody. And I'm like, bro, you feel bad for Cody, who's a multimillionaire with a hot wife, a beautiful family, and a dog, and a black friend that he fist bumps every time he gets out on. You feel bad about that guy. That guy's going to be fine after all.
He'll be all right.
His dream, bro. He's good.
For all we know, this is part of it. Cody could have booked this himself.
Exactly.
He always cries in his promos, so he just summoned some of that from when The Rock came out instead of. Man, this might be part of the plan all along. We don't know. We're not backstage.
They had to know the optics of The Rock's big-necked, pancake-eating ass, basically like just engulfing Cody in that hug, and he's sitting there with a tear in his eye. He was out there with his dog earlier. That whole thing was designed for sympathy. Okay?
Yep.
Now it isn't work. The whole thing doesn't work. Now I'm back to that. The whole thing was designed to get additional sympathy for Cody, and damn if it didn't work.
Yep. You want people to rally after him again? This is the perfect way to do it. This is prime booking right here.
It's going to be something, man. I hope that the fans can I hope that the fans aren't taking it a little bit too seriously. You can't be giving out the death threats. You can't be. Who was it? KG Red. He was talking about how you go to some of The Rock's most recent posts, and
yeah,
a mistake, man.
I saw it. It's just flooded with "We want Cody." There's all kind of Cody Rhodes. Rocky sucks. Like, oh, damn, y'all really into this, huh?
I love it, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, bro. This is great for me. Like, my TikTok is booming right now because of all this Cody Rhodes junk. I'm sure everybody else is as well. Everybody's
almost everybody else, some of our TikToks are dry. You know what I mean? Some of us are losing numbers by the hundreds per week. But I think good for you guys. Good for you guys. I'm a team player.
Almost everybody's TikTok is booming.
But to a degree, this is what we said we wanted. Bro, I said The Rock should come out at number 31 after Cody has thrown everyone out and then take his opportunity. Bro, that's what he did.
I always speculate that somebody from WWE listens to this podcast. This is not the first time.
This is not the first time.
Not the first time it happened where we said something and then it happened. So,
bro, lean into it. And we said that we just wanted to see the world explode. We didn't know that it actually would. We just
we're just looking around, man.
Lean into it. I'm here for it, man.
Oh yeah, I am here for either result. Rock Roman, Rock Cody Roman, Cody Seth. I am down.
I don't want Rock Cody Roman. Don't do that.
At this point, you might have to do it.
What do you do with Seth? I guess Seth Drew.
Who wants that?
Exactly.
Someone was saying Seth Balor or Priest.
Think also about like the confidence that let's say that it wasn't a work and this is just what they wanted to do. Think about the confidence in the company and in Cody rather, for them to say, you know what, we lost our box office main event of Seth Rollins and CM Punk. CM Punk was going to be the big draw for night one. The match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk was going to be the big draw for night one, and we don't have that anymore. And we need the next, like, you know what I mean, the next man up. As far as that's concerned, the best way to do this is to split us up and have our top babyface go against the world heavyweight champion. And at the very least, Cody Rhodes is definitely going to walk out of WrestleMania as some kind of a world champion.
I think Priest should cash in and take it though.
You and Malik, what is up with y'all having Priest take this damn belt?
Bro, that's another layer of sympathy right there. Like he got his consolation prize, right? And Priest just runs in. Yeet. Give me that.
He might as well be Kofi Kingston with the 10